Alright, let's dive into something that's been making headlines recently, and honestly, it's got me thinking about a lot more than just the surface-level drama. So, here's the deal, Neo is being sued by a delivery worker who claims his dog attacked her. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just say, this isn't the first time we've seen a celebrity facing legal trouble over a pet. Remember Chris Brown's case? Yeah, that one ended with a nearly $13 million payout. But what makes this really interesting is how these cases highlight a broader issue that, personally, I think doesn't get enough attention. So, Dominique Bridgett, the delivery worker, says she was just doing her job, dropping off a package at Neo's place in Georgia, when the dog allegedly attacked her. She's claiming serious injuries, medical bills already totaling over $9,000, and she's going after Neo for that plus additional damages. Now, from my perspective, this raises a deeper question: how responsible are pet owners, especially high-profile ones, for ensuring their animals don't pose a threat to others? I mean, if you take a step back and think about it, delivery workers, mail carriers, and service providers are constantly on other people's properties. What this really suggests is that there's a level of trust and safety that needs to be maintained, and when that's breached, it's not just about the individual incident, it's about the systemic risks these workers face. One thing that immediately stands out is the timing of this lawsuit. Coming on the heels of Chris Brown's case, it feels like we're seeing a pattern here. What many people don't realize is that these lawsuits aren't just about the money, they're about accountability. In Chris Brown's case, the housekeeper, Maria Avila, had to fight to get her hands on his tour earnings to cover the damages. That's a whole other layer of complexity, trying to collect on a judgment when the defendant is a high-earning celebrity. Personally, I think this speaks to a bigger issue in the legal system: how do we ensure that victims of such incidents actually receive the compensation they're awarded? Now, let's talk about the dog itself. We don't have many details about the breed or the circumstances of the attack, but this raises another point: are certain breeds more prone to aggression, and if so, what's the owner's responsibility in managing that? I'm not here to demonize any specific breed, but what this really suggests is that ownership comes with a responsibility to train, socialize, and secure your pet. If you're not doing that, are you really prepared to handle the consequences? What makes this case even more intriguing is the potential impact on Neo's public image. Celebrities are often held to a higher standard, and incidents like these can quickly spiral into PR nightmares. In my opinion, how he handles this situation will say a lot about his character. Will he take responsibility, apologize, and work to make things right? Or will this turn into a drawn-out legal battle that drags his name through the mud? Either way, it's a reminder that fame doesn't shield you from the consequences of your actions, or in this case, the actions of your pets. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about Neo or Chris Brown, it's about a culture where accountability often takes a backseat to convenience. We've seen this play out in so many areas, from corporate scandals to personal disputes. But what this really suggests is that we need to start prioritizing responsibility, especially when our actions, or inactions, can harm others. A detail I find fascinating is how these cases often bring to light the vulnerabilities of certain professions. Delivery workers, for instance, are essential to our daily lives, yet they're often exposed to risks that most of us don't even consider. So, where does this leave us? Personally, I think this case is a wake-up call. It's not just about Neo's dog or Chris Brown's settlement, it's about the broader implications for pet ownership, workplace safety, and accountability. What this really suggests is that we need to have these conversations more openly. How do we protect workers? How do we ensure pet owners are taking their responsibilities seriously? And how do we create a system where victims can actually get the justice they deserve? As we wrap this up, I'll leave you with this thought: what if this isn't just a story about a dog attack, but a reflection of larger societal issues? In my opinion, it's worth thinking about. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the headlines, it's about the people, the systems, and the values that shape our world. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep questioning, keep analyzing, and keep the conversation going.